You will spend nearly a third of your life unconscious. Every night you climb into bed, close your eyes, and disappear for hours at a time. You lose awareness of the room around you. Your muscles shut down. Your body becomes vulnerable, helpless, motionless. And you do this willingly. Yet for almost every other animal on Earth, that would be suicide. A deer that sleeps too deeply gets eaten. A monkey that loses awareness for too long falls from the tree. In the wild, unconsciousness is dangerous, which raises a strange question. Why do humans sleep so much? Most people think the answer is obvious. Your body gets tired. Your brain just needs rest, right? Sleep is simply the body's way of recharging itself. But that explanation has always felt incomplete, because if sleep were only about energy, evolution should have found a safer solution by now. A creature that spends 8 hours unconscious every single day sits at an enormous disadvantage. Over a lifetime, the average human spends nearly 26 years asleep. That's not a minor biological feature. That's a massive sacrifice. And the real reason your brain forces you to sleep may be far stranger than you think. In 1953, 2 researchers at the University of Chicago made a discovery that changed neuroscience forever. Nathaniel Kleitman and Eugene Oserinsky were studying sleeping infants when they noticed something bizarre. Even in deep sleep, the baby's eyes suddenly began darting rapidly beneath their eyelids. At the same moment, their brain activity exploded. Their brains no longer looked unconscious. They looked awake. This became the first documented evidence of REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, the exact phase where vivid dreams occur. What they discovered next was even stranger. During REM sleep, your body becomes effectively paralyzed. Your brain deliberately shuts down most muscle activity so you can't physically act out your dreams. Your heart rate shifts. Your breathing turns irregular. Brain activity surges to nearly waking levels. In some ways, your sleeping brain becomes more active than your waking one, which immediately raised a problem. If sleep is supposed to be rest, why is the brain suddenly burning enormous amounts of energy while you're unconscious? Something else entirely was going on. Then, in the 1980s, neuroscientist Giulio Tononi began developing a theory that sounded almost disturbing. What if sleep isn't mainly for resting the brain? What if it exists to erase parts of it? Here's exactly what he meant. Every waking moment, your brain keeps strengthening connections between neurons. Every conversation, every face, every sound, every notification on your phone. Tiny pathways in your brain grow slightly stronger. But if that process ran on forever, your brain would eventually overload, like a hard drive filling up with noise. So, according to Tononi's synaptic homeostasis hypothesis, sleep works like a nightly reset. While you sleep, the brain weakens and trims away unnecessary neural connections. Important pathways survive. Weak ones simply vanish. Your brain is literally deciding what deserves to exist and what deserves to be forgotten. Experiments began backing up this idea almost immediately afterward. In 2003, researchers at the University of Wisconsin found that sleep-deprived animals struggled to consolidate memories properly. The information got in, but the organizing process broke down. Then came the brain scans themselves. Using modern imaging technology, scientists discovered that during deep sleep, cerebrospinal fluid begins flowing through the brain in rhythmic waves, washing away metabolic waste products that build up during waking hours, including proteins linked to Alzheimer's disease. Your sleeping brain isn't powering down. It's cleaning itself, repairing itself, rewriting itself. And here's where things get deeply uncomfortable, because the brain activity happening while you sleep may shape your personality more than the hours you spend awake. Researchers at Harvard Medical School found that emotional experiences replay during sleep in altered form. Your brain quietly reworks embarrassment, fear, grief, attraction, humiliation, not passively, but actively. Sleep changes how you feel about your own life. The version of you that wakes up tomorrow morning isn't psychologically identical to the version that fell asleep tonight. Your brain has already altered the emotional weight of your memories while you lay unconscious, which means something strange is true. You're being psychologically rewritten every single night. But here's the part almost nobody thinks about. For most of human history, people didn't sleep the way you do now. In the early 2000s, historian Roger Ekirch of Virginia Tech uncovered over 500 historical references to something called segmented sleep. For centuries, humans commonly slept in two separate stretches. People fell asleep shortly after sunset, woke around midnight for an hour or two, then drifted back to sleep until dawn. This middle waking period turned up everywhere: medieval court records, medical texts, personal diaries, literature. People prayed, talked, had sex, sat by candlelight reflecting, then drifted back to sleep. In other words, waking up at 2 a.m. may not be a malfunction at all. It may be ancient behavior your body still remembers. And this makes modern sleep feel even stranger because today, millions panic the moment they wake up during the night. They assume something is broken inside them. Insomnia, anxiety, dysfunction. But for most of human history, uninterrupted 8-hour sleep was never the norm. Artificial lighting changed that. Factories changed that. Work schedules changed that. Your body never evolved around modern clocks. Modern clocks simply forced it to adapt. And the consequences show up everywhere. In 2022, the CDC estimated that over 1/3 of American adults are chronically sleep deprived. Rates of anxiety, depression, obesity, and cardiovascular disease climb sharply once sleep patterns get disrupted. Your nervous system is ancient. Your environment isn't. And every night, those two realities collide inside your skull, which leads to an unsettling thought. If consciousness is the thing you experience as yourself, then sleep temporarily destroys it every single day. Every night, your awareness disappears. Your sense of time vanishes. Your identity dissolves into dreams, fragments, unconscious processes, electrical storms firing across billions of neurons. Then, hours later, consciousness returns, and you simply assume the person waking up is the same person who fell asleep. But how would you ever prove it? The version of you that existed yesterday is already gone. Its emotions have shifted. Its neural connections have changed. Its memories have been edited. Your brain survived, but the exact mind you had before sleep didn't. Something slightly different woke up in its place. And maybe that's the real reason humans sleep. Not because the brain shuts down, but because it's constantly rebuilding itself. You close your eyes each night believing you'll wake up as the same person. But your brain has been changing in the dark the whole time, quietly deciding what stays, quietly deciding what disappears. And by morning, a different version of you steps back into the world, carrying only the pieces your brain decided were worth keeping.